Welcome to Rauta's interview session. Today I have a man with multi-talent skills. He's a record store manager, he's a band member in a couple of bands doing vocal work, he's a geek organizer, he's a record collector. He has done all sort of stuff in the past 30 years or so. So welcome Mr. Jussi Helenius, the local metal celebrity, or so to speak. Welcome, Jussi. What's on your mind after the weekend of events behind us?
Well, thank you for having me here in your wonderful man cave of testosterone.
Man gym.
Man gym, yes. Well, I'm feeling alright, and I'm really pleased that we have managed to pull through one event that got some resistance, but in the end it didn't matter, and we pulled it through with success.
Yeah, before we go into the details of this, let's say, political climate of sorts.
Political for some people,
political for some, not for you guys, but everyday politics has been kind of pulled in a forceful way into metal of nowadays, even though most people don't give a shit. What is your standpoint to this? I mean, like, people are trying to make apolitical things political. What's it all about?
Well, it's all about people getting butthurt about things that they didn't get butthurt before because they didn't even know about those things, and some. I think it's people are confused about things that they don't know and they are not familiar with. Like, extreme metal has really like disgusting points of views and topics and themes in the songs. And when you hear it and listen and look at it from as an outsider, you might think that these are all the people are fucking perverts or whatever, extremists and even dangerous, and I thought that this kind of thinking was already the past, and because we faced similar stuff with some religious groups like 10-15 years ago, and especially in the 90s when with the black metal being more in the news. But I don't know. I think it's just people are thinking too much about things that they don't have no clue about.
You've been organizing gigs in various parties, so to speak, for a long time. 20 years, 15 years or so.
Almost 20, yeah.
And you've seen a lot of people come and go, lots of different bands from various cultures, many countries, different kind of backgrounds. How do you feel things have changed during your time organizing these events?
Well, it's maybe the biggest change is like in the metal scene and the concerts. From the band's point of view, that the bands, even the smallest bands, the underground bands, they are acting more professional and focusing on how they play and make their music and perform and so on. Like in the end of 90s when we started all these gig arrangements and concert bookings and whatever, it still was like the gigs were just an excuse to get drunk and sometimes it you can notice it, and the bands were like really fucked when they climbed on stage and barely pull it through. But nowadays it's as I said, even with the smallest band, it doesn't matter if the band is small or big, they're more like serious about how they perform and how they appear on their audience and so on. I think it's a good thing, nobody has to be a straight edge or whatever. I mean that, and you can drink how much as you want, but if you fuck up the show or fuck up,
if you let down the audience,
if you let down the audience or beat the organizer or shit on the not on the toilet but beside the toilet just for being an asshole, drunken asshole, that's not really good appreciation for the club.
do you think internet has changed things? I mean, when it comes to the spreading news, so to speak, like you said, if you are an asshole, and nowadays it's easier to spread the information through Facebook and all social media and different ways. Do you think this has affected, or is it just a competition? I mean, the amount of bands that are out there.
I don't think that anyone is like consciously afraid of being caught on camera while shitting his pants in the backstage or falling from stage and puking on his guitar, but of course it's easier to now to spot the kind of problematic bands, so to speak, that you may need to have some extra concern about if you book them, and but I don't think I think it's just some common sense, and I don't think it has nothing to do with competition there. It's like, especially in our field, which covers basically only underground stuff, underground bands and bands that are never gonna be famous or being in the headlines in the mainstream media. So I think it's just common sense, and that people are respecting each other and having a bit more self-respect
than before.
Yeah.
So you've been also a record store guy for many years. I remember you doing that well over 10 years ago, 15 years ago maybe. And you've been doing
20 years ago.
20 years ago already, and in a few stores even. So you said that people have weird feelings or expectations how metal people are all about and what they think or what kind of clothing they do or all that stuff. Do you think that this has changed also during your time, or how do you think these reactions, like you said, about religious people having weird thoughts about, or even average Joe having weird thoughts about metal? How does it reflect on your work, or has reflected before?
Well, of course, in the beginning of this millennium, when the metal hype was on its biggest in Finland, and our prime minister Matti, the old guy, also was so fucking heavy and whatnot. But of course it was, and it is a mainstream style of music nowadays compared to almost any other country in the world. But the highest peak has gone many years ago, and we can see it, especially in the not in the underground shows maybe, and not with the very popular bands, but all the other bands in between. They have smaller audiences.
The middle ground.
Yeah, the middle class of metal. Yeah, they have smaller audiences than 10-15 years ago, and that's because the highest peak has gone already, and the ones who just wanted to ride the bandwagon, so to speak, and
posers have left the hall.
Well, maybe not in the posers. Maybe there are some people that find find the stuff that they look when it's offered to them. They're not looking. They're not searching. They just notice it when it comes close enough, and when it's sold in supermarkets, and you can buy it at the same time when you buy your milk and your cat food. But but it's okay. It's normal thing for most of the people in this planet. So.
Basic stuff.
Basically,
Yeah, we earlier had this video about the digital formats versus physical formats, which you might have seen already, and if not, go check it out afterwards. But I'm gonna ask you, Jussi, about the record sales stuff. How it has changed. There has been a lot of talk about vinyl format coming back, even Sega, tapes have been coming back to, so to speak, the record store, outside record store to the supermarkets and whatnot. Has there been this big change, or is it all about just one big hype, or are there real figures to back this up?
There are figures going up and figures going down. Of course, everyone knows that the total sales figures of physical format has gone down dramatically, like during the whole after the change of the millennium, like 15 years. But at the same time, and maybe the CD is going down, but the vinyl has like resurrected, came back from the dead, like, because it was a format that the big record labels and distributors and the music business in general, they tried to kill the whole format in the end of 90s, during the 90s, because of various reasons, mostly related to making as much profit as possible. But the vinyl has been like resurrected, and the sales of the vinyl has gone up really, like not dramatically, and the total sales are not, of course they're not insane, but compared to the fact that the vinyl is such a long-lived format, it's a really interesting thing, because the people who are buying the vinyl or even the tapes are more like a collector's item and kind of gimmick, and really nice stuff for the fans and so on. But the people who buy the vinyls I think it's more about the whole package and having the experience of listening and dwelling into the whole album and the concept and the
kind of the full experience.
Yeah, and the CD, of course, with the CD is the same, but as a CD is more limited in the visual way, and but I don't think that any of these physical formats will die in
anytime soon.
Anytime. Oh, well, of course I'm gonna foresee in 50 years.
Yeah, but I don't know what
I forgot my crystal ball.
Yeah, you left it home.
Yeah.
So, we've covered your record store stuff, we've covered your gig organizing stuff, but you also play in a couple of bands. What can you tell me? Scream, growl, I don't know what else.
Make noises with my mouth.
Yeah, what you can tell the audience about your bands, where they are right now and what's in near future for them?
Well, first of all, the thrash metal band Aggressor is actually now in a state that we have our fourth album finished. We recorded in the beginning of this year and got the final mix in late spring, I think, and we have also like a cover art ready and everything. But we don't have a record label at the moment, and we are looking for a label to sign us to do everything for us.
So pay attention.
Please. No, well, I think we just need to find some reasonable label to really we could do it on our own to like a self-finance stuff, but it would. I'm also against that because it's downshifting the whole shit, and I don't like that. It's just with the label, it's easier to get the music spread worldwide, or at least wider than we could do it on our own. Even though I could, of course, spread it through my record stores in Finland and mail orders and whatever, but it's a record label of some standards. They have a lot more possibilities to promote and spread the music, and that's what but it's all about. Just one of the people that hear it, and if somebody likes it, it's okay. And of course, I want to also on that aspect. I want to be able to play also some shows and tours and whatever for the people who have heard it and who may have liked it. So it's like I arrange shows to bands in Finland. I have met lots of people during my band tours and gigs abroad that do similar stuff to me. So it's a thing that goes both ways.
So what about your other band, Cantle Accident? It started kind of a tongue-in-the-cheek project, and I think many felt that it was just another side project to die soon. But you've been there for over 10 years by now.
Actually, no, 10 years.
10 years, okay.
This year, so it's also a bit surprise to all members, I think, because yes, like you said, it started as a two-man project and was supposed to be only to record in the studio and have some session members, and that's all. No gigs, no live stuff, no lineup, but
it kind of
then some beers were drank and ideas were expressed, and you know how it happens.
I know how it happens. But where are you right now with Cantle Accident? You are not ready to just go with your next album, but you are working on it.
Yeah, we are in a kind of writing process, and actually we have, I think, almost like 15, maybe almost 20 songs somehow recorded as an instrumental rehearsal demo or whatever, with the drums and guitar and bass, and with the three players in our band. But we have been quite slow about the progressing with the songs and arrangements during this year. So we should, after the shows we will play later this year, we have to focus more on finishing those songs and having them ready to be the fourth album.
All right. We'll keep you posted about the stuff when it happens. But now to the very last topic. As a gig organizer, you've been doing quite a few underground gigs. You've been focusing especially on the extreme side of metal bands, be it death metal, black metal, and so forth. But especially on the black metal side, I would say. You had quite a few, 6 all in all, Turku Saatanalle, Turku for Satan stuff, and you also had sort of spin-offs to this, and of which latest was this gig we started the whole interview with in Helsinki. You had sort of Nazi label gig, which was totally uncalled for. What's the fucking thing all about, this so-called Nazi stuff, which is thrown all around these days?
Well, as I said in the beginning, it's a label that it's easy nowadays to throw on almost any kind of experimental band if you dig deep enough and find excuses and links to anything you you wanna label as right wing or extremist or whatever. However, it's the same thing. You can label almost any band anarchistic or whatever, or fucking criminal, or if you dig deep enough. For us, it's only about the music as a form of art, and in this case, it sounds and it looks, for many people who look it from outside, really extreme, and it's about ignorance and they're willing to boost your own views and some agenda that you are trying to express and trying to whatever. But for us, it has nothing to do with those things. It's we arrange, as I said many times, but I have always hear shit about what they say. But I repeat, we arrange extreme metal music concerts, and there are no politics involved in the bands and in the expression and in the events. If the members of the bands or some people in the audience or the friends of the bands or whatever are politically active in any place, and it has nothing to do with us or with the band. It should have. It's not anyone's concern.
To talk about this a little bit further, I read about an article. I read an article about NSBM and right-wing stuff mixed with metal and all that. And there was this one really curious point which I want to share with you, the dear viewers. There was this mention that, okay, if you look at the many of black metal bands, especially, and if you find anything that might even slightly suggest that you might have a political agenda to write, or if you're sort of seen as a fascist because you have a war-related lyrics, you are easily labeled as a Nazi band with no defense called for. But if you're like a Motorhead Lemmy, who happens to be a collector of a Nazi, and also Slayer having iron crosses, or even old bands which have used weird lines in sentence. We all remember Dark Throne's Norsk, Arisk, Metal and all that kind of stuff. Do you think there's a reason why these bigger names, they don't get these Nazi accusations as much, even though it would just be easy to, make all the slander and stuff? Is it just because they're so popular that nobody wants to touch them and it's easy to go for the little guys, basically bullying? Or what the fuck is going on?
It's actually, it is about the size of the bands.
So Iron Maiden, if you want to do World War II stuff, you can sing about all kind of stuff. What is this?
Yeah, of course, Phil Anselmo got shit when he was drunk and did some Sieg Heil on stage at some other band's show, which was fucking stupid. But I wouldn't call that guy a Nazi. I call him a fucking stupid redneck. But it's people make stupid things, and that. And as far as I know, he's not. And of course, he apologized everything and blah blah blah. But as far as I know, for example, he is not really active or right-wing guy. So it's just during these times when you hear about things and know about things in a matter of minutes or at least in a matter of hours, then you just the one who gets the blame first, then he has the burden to explain anything. If I would say like accuse someone of being like a thief or a fucking pedophile or whatever, like some lighter things that you have, that you're an anarchist. You have involved in releasing foxes from the, and then the burden is on him to explain that this bullshit.
So you don't basically need evidence to.
Yeah, it's like
You get this label and.
yeah. If you have the label put on you, then the news are spread in a matter of hours, and then there are already thousands of people thinking that you are that what somebody, sometimes even from an anonymous source, is labeling you, and
False facts.
yeah, and that's like it's a thing that is it's really annoying because I personally hate explaining myself like dozens of times with the same things, and well, whatever, we do what we do know is right, and
Yeah, you said it right. Okay, now let's label you.
I can do it the left hand path also.
So there is also this claim that Nazism or any kind of right-wing stuff is today so much present in metal because nobody gives a shit anymore about, church burnings or, like resisting the church or these kind of moral views. Do you think this is accurate or is it just a bullshit argument?
Of course, for somebody it's just a fucking shock. It's for the shock value, and they want to be a bit tougher than they are. But like I have said that if there is like a real right-wing agenda behind the band's expression, behind the band as a group and as their expression, and then it's the same. It's the same stupidity than just to be on the other side, being like an anarchist resisting police and the state and the whatever. But these are both things that we don't want to get involved. If the bands look suspicious to someone else, as I said before, outside this scene that we are in, then it's not our problem. We know where we stand, and we know what we do. It's a bit frustrating to repeat myself again, and because I have talked about this thing with various people before, but but in the end, as I said, we know where we stand, and we have enough self-respect to keep that position.
All right. So before we finish the final sales pitch, you have next Turku Saatanalle coming in next February. Am I right?
In the beginning of March.
Beginning of March, okay. What can we expect to see there?
Well, we have already 8 bands confirmed, and there will be 10 bands in total. One headliner is still to be announced, and another band. Both will be from abroad, so Finnish bands, please don't ask anything. And so far we have booked 2 Finnish legendary bands, Satanic Warmaster and Warlock. How do you spell it? I don't know. Warlock in Finnish. And
get that right.
And two Finnish newcomer bands, totally different from each other, but very well fitting in the field of black metal. They're called Blood Chalice and Havu Kruunu. And one American underground black metal band called Hellfire Death Cult, just for every blasphemy and revenge and Archgoat fan should check out. And what do you have?
Whale?
Whale. Yeah, Whale is kind of kind of obscure Finnish black metal act, which I think they have done only 1 or 2 shows before. They are like, the band is more, I think something like 10 years old, and they did their first gig last year or something, and they, as far as I know, they are not gonna play live so much, so it's a rare opportunity to see them also. And then we have one of the oldest black metal bands, Barathrum, playing a special set of their maybe the most mainstream black metal album in Finland, Legions of Perkele, which is like a 20 years anniversary show. And then then we have the Norwegian, quite a new band, but already well recognized in the underground black metal. They're called Hordom Rife, and personally I'm really looking forward to see their show.
All right. So people, where can they find the information? Give your find about Turku Saatanalle and other stuff.
www.metallihelvetti.net and Facebook and all other porn sites.
Porn sites mentioned. All right, thank you for watching this really lengthy interview with Jussi. I will put the links below so you can probably save your own trouble for googling all those pages. Thank you, Jussi. Coming here, maybe we need another opportunity to go all these topics. So, guys and girls out there, also check out the Barathrum interview we did at Tuska. It's already a couple of months old and it should be found there somewhere in the interview links. As always, give your rants, thank yous, love letters, and all that nice hate mail you so much love. Keep them coming, put it on the box below or on the Facebook page, and keep checking out those competitions. Rauta out until our next video. Stay fucking metal or die.